Hey everyone, it's Amir here, and I'm doing a different type of video in this because um, quite a lot of people have been wondering how I do my animations, what work really goes into it, and stuff like that. So I thought I'd do this different type of video today. I thought I'd just sit down at the laptop and just basically just do a few test animations and just show you what really goes into it because it's actually not that complex to do. So, in case you're wondering, this application here is After Effects. It's this thing here, and I usually use it alongside Premiere Pro. I do all the animation-y stuff in After Effects. Then, basically, you can take an After Effects file and put it in Premiere Pro without rendering it or anything like that, and it'll just play. And then you make changes in After Effects, and it moves over. It's really, really good. The integration is really good, which is a big reason why I like Adobe CC, because I actually a lot of times make stuff in Illustrator too. And yeah, I'm not going to go into how I do all of that. It's just basically just using the pen tool, different shapes, stuff like that, putting them together. It's just about being creative with it, really. But yeah, I'm going to just do a few animations in here and just show you how I go about doing it. So yeah, I just double click to just make a background. Sometimes I name them, sometimes I don't if I'm feeling lazy. But yeah, basically you just press enter, just type in whatever you want, and that's it. And yeah, at first I just made a new composition that's 1080p. You just basically do it by clicking on this, and making a new one. Pretty much everything's there okay already. And what I kind of like to do for the background color is I try to have this like basically in this position right here, because it just kind of gives a nice effect to it. As you can see, it's just like that kind of softish kind of color that just, it looks really, really nice in animations, I think anyway. Like, because something like that definitely wouldn't. It's just nice to kind of have like a soft kind of color in animations, I find. And yeah, something I use a lot is this tool by this person called MtMograph. He's called, well, his YouTube channel is called MtMograph, and he has this really, really good tool. I actually just used it without even realize. It's called Motion, and he's actually got Motion 2, and I've got that, but I don't know, I just prefer Motion 1. So I just keep using that. But it is a paid tool, but it's really, really worth it, because what you can do, if I just change the colour of this, I'll just change it to like blue or something. Give it like a nice kind of blue. He does these sorts of videos too, by the way, like these animation videos. I mean, I don't think those two colours go that well together, but I'll just keep it as it is anyway. So basically what you can do is, if you just press P, make like put a point there, put a point. I usually like to do it at either 5 frames or 10 frames. If I can go to 10 frames, I'm just going to zoom in a bit. It's always best to be zoomed in. Or 10 frames. And it's pretty easy. You just move it to another point and select them both. And what this top one does is it makes it go faster outwards, like towards the end. So basically it makes it go slow at this point, then go fast at this point. So I'm just gonna put it on, so you'll just see what it's like. I just select both of them and I just put it on. It works well that way. As you can see, it starts slow, sorry, and it goes fast. I'll bring it to 20 actually, so you can see it a bit better. So too used to saving it. I won't bother saving this one. So yeah, as you can see, it's still kind of a bit hard to see, but it starts slow, it goes fast, basically. Anyway, so yeah, it does that. If you do this one, then it's basically starts fast, goes slow, then goes fast again, like that. And the last one, as you probably guessed, starts fast, then goes slow. And that really, oh god, I keep pressing controllers. I'll just go and save it on the desktop. Untitled Project 1. Yeah, so that just gives it a really, really nice look. I just really, really like the everyone likes that kind of look. Like, this is a really good look to give. I mean, if you just leave it as it is, if I get the right one down to the ends, like this is it, just like that's plain and boring. It's all about the kind of inertia, I think it's called, and all that sort of stuff. So I actually got a lot of guidelines from material design. So when I've got something coming in from the side, what I do is I use this one because it's as if it's coming in like fast and then it's slowing down in the scene. So that gives it a nice kind of look like that. Because it wouldn't actually look right if you do it the other way. Like if you do it like this, it's just not going to look right. I mean, it still looks kind of fine, but it just looks a lot better if you have it slowing down. And that's just to do with yeah, again, I just got it from material design. It's just how things would work in the real world. Like if you've got a car and you're slowing it down, it's not gonna like, you're not gonna get faster and then suddenly brake. It's gonna slow down eventually, like gradually. And then really, it's just about being creative. Something else that I do a lot is I actually do this thing with letters. Like, I don't know, let's just type in star, whatever. I don't actually like this font. I'll change it to what's the font I use? I started using a new font, and let's do Papyrus because I've been watching a lot of Undertale lately. So something I do a lot with, well, it's not just text, with stuff like text and boxes like that and stuff like that. You just it's something with the scale, and it's S to get upscale, by the way. So what you can do is if you press this, and then you make a point there, and you make a point like 10 frames later, what you can do is you can have it go down like that. Oh, sorry, wrong way around. I do this pretty much every time. I always put it down there, but I don't put it there. And basically what it's going to do, again, if I use this same thing in motion, where it goes slow towards the end. By the way, if it's on the place that you want it, you just like jiggle it around a bit and it will put the value in. And that just gives it a really nice look too. So it's just a lot of it, like the majority of it comes from this motion editor here. I use the clone one a lot because basically what that does is you can highlight some points here, and then if you press clone, it will clone the same points here. That's actually really, really useful. But I don't actually use many of these other ones, to be honest. One that I do use is this a lot, and a reason why this is important is if I select the star one, for example, and I put the anchor point to the bottom, then whatever animation you do, it's going to do from the bottom. If you go and select the top, then it's going to do the animation from the top, and middle obviously is like middle, it's going to do it from the middle. So that's why anchor points are really, really important. So that's why this is really good. There are some other there's some other like add-ons to After Effects that you can get that do the same thing as the anchor. One thing that's actually really, really used a lot in my videos is something called masks, and I used them for some things like when I was showing about the electromagnetic field thing, where I had that whole field thing going on top of the charger. I used masks for that basically, and what masks are is like if I just go and create a new mask now, it's just I go to layer, mask, new mask, and that basically just kind of puts this yellow border around it. And then what you can do with this, as you can see, there's actually the option to put points at certain points. I'm sure there's another name for it, but I can't think of it off the top of my head now. See if it keyframe, yeah, keyframe. Yeah, there's the option to add keyframes. So what you can do is if I just put a keyframe there, a keyframe here, and I just change this around a bit, like move it halfway down or something. This is actually another way you can do the scale kind of thing that I did before. It's just like you might as well just use scale for that though. But basically if I just put this up to give it a nice look, what we'll do, yeah, it'll just go down like that because it's the top of it's being masked. It's basically just going transparent. That's what it does. So another way that you can actually do this, which is really helpful if I just get rid of these, is if you get another shape and you put it right above it here. Oops. I have to make sure that you click off it first and make a mask above it. Well, not mask, make a shape above it. It's going to be a mask soon though. And then you make sure that you toggle switch some modes, and then you do this alpha map. Alpha inverted map, and basically what I'll do again is it's going to hide the top of it. It's going to hide what's there, and it's going to hide that shape too. Like the shape's not visible. So what that's going to do is basically whatever's underneath this shape it's going to hide. So that's how I did stuff with the I can't think of it, the wireless charger. That's how I did the stuff with the wireless charger. I basically put a shape like covering the wireless charger, and then I used that as a mask to basically hide the spinning circuit things when they were going under the charger and stuff. That's basically how I did it, and it just makes it look like it's actually going into the charger in a way. It's kind of nice. But yeah, that's how that works. And you can do this with stuff like text too. If I move this here, see if this works, and then I get the shape. Where's the shape gone? Yeah, so if I get the shape, move it on top of star, then do, that's why. Then I do alpha inverted again. It's gonna hide the text like when it goes under it. And that's how a lot of things work in that's like masks is super useful in After Effects. You're gonna find loads of uses for them because it makes hiding stuff and showing parts of stuff a lot easier. Like when it comes to like photos and stuff like that too, it really helps. So masks is something that's really good to use. And another thing that I was going to do is show basically repeating, like using repeating in stuff like the background and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do rectangles, and we're going to do it across like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate, move it down to cover that, duplicate, move it down, and yeah, that's it, pretty much covered. So what you can do now, and I'm sure there's a keyboard shortcut to do what I'm going to do, but I don't bother using a keyboard shortcut. So I'll move it like 5 pixels, not pixels, frames forward. I keep wanting to say pixels, I don't know why. And let's just move all of these backwards. You could do this by just clicking and typing the number in, but I'll just do it this way. And again, let's do that same nice animation thingy, speed thing. Like, you can tell that I don't do these a lot anyway, can't you? So I'm going to do that, and as you see, they all just, well, that's a bit too fast. Let's just slow it down a bit, or else you're probably not going to see much. Let's move it to 20 again, even though I don't usually use 20 in animations. It's a bit too slow for my liking. So yeah, you can see it just kind of goes in, and what you can do now is just stagger it. So just move this 2 frames 2 frames forward for 6, and basically just put it 2 after the other like that, and then it gives this kind of nice kind of effects. And you can do that with a lot of things. Like that's how I did it with the circle in the how wireless charging works, with that circle where the phone was turning and that turned at the same time. I just basically turned the phone, had it fade out, had the other phone fade in, and turned into the same kind of like portrait direction. And I just was doing a similar thing with the background here, but I was actually using something called trim edges, I think it's called. I'm gonna have to check. Actually, you can't do it with a circle. You need to use, or you can. You need to use a stroke. Yep. So just use a stroke. Not that. Make the film nothing. And yeah, you just use something called trim edges, which is under add, or trim path. Sorry, not trim edges. Makes more sense anyway. And you can just basically make it going like that. So I just made it going like that, and I just repeated it and had different ones. I had them at different sizes, and different stroke pixels and stroke widths. I was going to say width, but I said pixels. And I just had them at different stroke widths, and yeah, it just gave it the effect that you saw in the video. One of them I had like fully like that, so it actually looked like a circle, and the rest of them were just actually like bigger versions of this basically, and I just went around it. So that's how that worked. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this video was actually good. As you can tell, I don't really do this style of video that often. That's why I kind of like to go scripted, because then I know like what I'm saying half the time. But yeah, that's this video. That's how I do animations in a nutshell, really. Just building up these, building off these ideas, really. So that's about it. I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.